In this week's GTA Online update, we've got some really exciting money bonuses and Halloween content to enjoy, but the real thrill comes from our free vehicles for this week, I think. Today, we're going to be diving into two spectacular cars that you can snag in-game, potentially even today. First up is the Benefactor Schlagen GT, which is an ultra-high-performance German coupe known for its superb handling and very stylish customization options as well. And the second is the Lampadati Novak, which is a sleek and fast SUV that balances nice aesthetic appeal, but it also has awesome acceleration, and overall it's a top choice for those who appreciate driving around SUVs in GTA Online. Now, grabbing either of these vehicles for $0, despite their relatively high market prices, obviously is going to be a great opportunity for this week. So join me today as we unlock, customize, and review these cars. I'll also take them to the track to test out whether they're truly worth the excitement or not, but spoiler alert, I think they are. Anyways, let's jump in. So first off, this week's Diamond Casino Podium vehicle is the Benefactor Schlagen GT, which is available for a normal retail value of $1,300,000 from Legendary Motorsport, and it released as part of the Arena War DLC update. Now, the Schlagen GT is inspired by the Mercedes AMG GT, and it strikes a perfect balance between aesthetics and performance, and it's a very standout, although not really top-ranked sports car in GTA Online. It's not absolute top of the class, but it's very, very good. It's unique in its handling capabilities because this car is devoid of all the advanced handling flags that we'll often see with newer DLC sports and supercars, and so overall that's going to grant it exceptionally stable handling, which is a rarity in recent updates that we've seen to the game in terms of cars, and this stability makes it a robust competitor against other sports cars in the game. Although one thing I should mention is it's got really powerful rear wheel drive, and so that's going to cause a little bit of oversteer on wet surfaces or say like dirt roads or whatever if you're aggressively maneuvering, but it's nothing that you can't handle. Just keep it in mind. And now, say if you don't have an opportunity to win this car by spinning the lucky wheel this week, but you want an opportunity to buy this one or others in the game, make sure to check out U4GM. They offer cheap GTA Online cash, handcrafted high-level GTA 5 accounts with lots of money, and even custom boost services. With over 8,000 comments on Trustpilot, check my link in the description and use my code HAZARD for 5% off. Here is my Benefactor Schlagen GT. For me, I think personally, this is absolutely like a top 10 sports car in the game. Maybe even a top 5 favorite of mine. It's definitely one of my favorites in the game overall. Beautiful styling. Honestly, I like the way Rockstar designed the Schlagen GT in game more than the way Mercedes actually designed the AMG GT. If they made it like this fictional version in GTA Online, it would be absolutely amazing. This car looks super, super hot. We are rocking a garnet red or a garnet red metallic along with a blaze red pearlescent, and we got, I forget what wheels we have on here. Mercy concaves, I'm pretty sure, but we are going to go take this to the track, test out how it performs. All right, let's go see what this car is capable of. As always, if you guys have been keeping up to date with the series, I like to take this car north, then we head east, south, east, wrap around through here, up the hill, then we go west, and we wrap up at the intersection. I'm gonna take a guess and say this is gonna be like a 2-minute and 40-second car. Let's see if we can hit that pace. 3 minutes is gonna be very slow. Supercars and better basically are like 2:30. So let's start the timer and let's take off. Just a little bit of wheel spin off the line, so you can imagine what it's like in the rain or something like that, but nothing you can't handle. You got to watch out for the rear end in the absolute most aggressive maneuvers you're going to be taking with the Benefactor Schlagen GT, but overall, it's not something you really have to worry about. This is going to slow me down just a little bit right here. Unfortunately, that car was in the way, so I wasn't able to hit my little jump. I don't like to take shortcuts on this track except for that, because it's just always fun. It's right at the beginning of the track, things like that. The exhaust notes on this Schlagen GT are absolutely amazing. And you could just see in this gameplay how we are crawling around all these corners. There's not too much sliding. It can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen with a car like this, but overall, as long as you aren't moving your thumbstick to the absolute left and right, I'm not sure what it would be like on keyboard and mouse, but at least with a controller, if you're a roller player out there, I don't think you're going to lose traction on this car all that much unless you initiate like some type of power slide, hit the handbrake, whatever the case is. I'm really curious to see what this car is like on this down section and this downhill section, because this is where you could really see the top speed of these cars shine. I think this car, man, you guys know I already love it, but after playing with it now for this video, it's still beating my expectations somehow, right? And this is where basically, this section of the track at least, is where a lot of the cars that I drive will kind of like throw a little bit of a fit. If they're prone to stepping out on you in terms of like the rear end, you can see getting a nice, not the best drift. We had a better drift with the 8F Drafter through this section last week, but we're still able to keep the speed pretty high. And I'm running a little bit different of a line compared to the 8F Drafter last week just because these cars are in weird spots. Usually they're like in the same spots as I take these turns for these videos each week, but this week it seems to be a little bit different. Nonetheless, I think this Benefactor Schlagen GT is keeping up just fine. We are making pretty good pace. I'm going to take my eyes off the road in just a second after we get around this turn to see the pace we're setting. 2 minutes in. Yeah, this may be sub 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I hope we can beat that time. That's what I said at the beginning, right? 2 minutes, 40 seconds for this car. And that's just me saying something, you know, like, normally how the time works out is 2 minutes 30 to 2 minutes 40 is a very good time. 240 to 250 is where most of the cars are going to come into play if it's a sports car or even like a slower supercar. 2 minutes 50 to 3 minutes isn't excellent, but it's still passable for a vehicle. And then 3 minutes plus, that's when you know the vehicle's just going to be on the slower end compared to other cars in the game on this type of track. So my guess was going to be 2 minutes 40. You know, I know how this car performs, but I don't know the actual time on this track of mine. And it looks like it's going to be 2 minutes 41 seconds. So I feel like if I was just a little bit faster, and maybe if I hit that jump for that small little shortcut, just to kind of cheat just a little bit, we would have been 2 minutes 40 seconds flat. But overall, a very, very good car in this game. The Benefactor Schlagen GT definitely gets the Hazard seal of approval. So now let's check out the LS Car Meet prize ride for the week. Now moving on, this week's LS Car Meet prize ride is the Lampadati Novak, and it's priced at $608,000, and it's available at Legendary Motorsport if you want to buy it. It's introduced as part of the Diamond Casino and Resort update, and that's when it dropped. And if you want to unlock this vehicle as the prize ride for this week, all you need to do is win one single LS Car Meet Series race. You don't have to win multiple. You don't need to do it for multiple days in a row. Nothing like that. Just win one and you get the prize ride car. Now, the Novak is often celebrated by players as one of the fastest SUVs in GTA Online. I'd say it's very comparable to the likes of the Pagani Toros, for example, or the Rebla GTS, which is my absolute favorite SUV in this game. It launched in late 2019, and of course, this high-end SUV has a nice blend of speed as well as utility. It does boast a slightly lower top speed than the Pagani Toros at 126 miles an hour, but this vehicle greatly compensates for that in my opinion because it has superior acceleration as well as responsiveness and traction. And the standout features with this car is going to include the easy handling it has. It's got great traction like I was saying, and so overall it's just going to be a top choice for players who are looking for a reliable and quick SUV for navigating the streets of Los Santos. For me, my favorite's going to be the Rebla GTS, but the Novak, the Rebla, as well as the Toros are top 3 SUVs in GTA Online. Now here is the Lampadati Novak, ladies and gentlemen. This is definitely a top 3 SUV in the game. Right now we are rocking a midnight blue metallic on this, along with I think just a standard blue pearlescent. I wish the car was a little bit lighter and brighter, but I can't get the same hue of blue just in a lighter color unless I do a crew color, and so I just figured I'd go with this for the sake of this video. This is a super sweet SUV in this game. I have the suspension lowered all the way just because I feel like it looks better. I do truly think it looks better if you don't modify the suspension at all. But the problem is you're going to have a lot of body roll, and so I have this thing slammed to the ground just for the sake of testing this on the track. With that being said, let's go check it out. All right, here we are. My timer's ready. Let's hit the start button and go. Basically, no wheel spin off the line, which is good to see. I will say the characteristics in terms of the handling of this car, you'll notice there's almost like slight understeer and plowing at first if you take a corner really sharply. And then you don't snap to oversteer, but you just kind of slide. You lose traction. And you can see the braking, I would say, is my least favorite part about this SUV. You know, taking that jump just allowed us basically to hit the guardrail right away. But the acceleration's really nice on this SUV. And the handling, it's very agile handling. It's nippy. It just, you encounter understeer a little bit sooner than I would like, which I think is the main problem with the handling of this SUV. The braking, and then the fact that it just has like a little bit of understeer characteristics, things like that. But like the turning radius isn't super bad. As you can see, that was completely driver error right there. But I think so far, honestly, for a time with this SUV, I'm gonna guess probably around 3 minutes. I don't think this maybe could be a 2 minute and 55 second car on this track, but with all the errors I've made, along with the fact that the handling is just a little bit, it's not bad, but it's strange. a little bit less than you would expect. I like the Rebel GTS more. You guys heard me talk about that in the review of this car. And I also got to get used to driving this thing because I normally don't. And you could see how this car is actually handling, especially on turns like this. You notice how it has the understeer and then it starts sliding. It doesn't, you know, the rear end doesn't kick out all the way. But you almost feel like despite this car and this SUV really wanting to get around the turn sometimes, it just can't, and then it starts to slide. And in some cases like that, you kind of get some cool drifts. And so if you can anticipate that and you're used to driving this SUV and, you know, you're just like a Lampadati Novak legend in GTA Online, I think you could put some serious miles on this car and win some SUV races. But when it comes to just like overall performance for the daily GTA Online grinder and driver who's driving around the city really fast, I almost feel like you're just going to crash a lot with this car. It's not to say it's bad. This is still, like I said, top 3 SUV in the game just because of its quickness, and the handling is still better than most. But, and it's sporty, you know, but it's not a supercar. It's not a sports car, even when you have it lowered. My other issue with this car is the perspective. It's just one of those cars, just like the Virtue, and there's some other cars in the game that have this. Like, I have the low camera angle for driving. I know some players say high is better. I do the low one just because I like the perspective of the cars better. But this car is so tiny. Like, look in the furthest third-person perspective how tiny. It looks like I'm driving an RC car around or something like that. So I'm going to go close up and see maybe if that makes it a little bit better. But so far, what are we at? Yeah, 2 minutes, 50 seconds. This is going to be a 3-minute car, which is quite unfortunate. I would say, yeah, if I didn't have any crashes or anything like that that slowed us down, this is 2 minutes 58 seconds on the clock. So if I had no crashes, it would probably be what, 2 minutes 50 to 53, 54 seconds. But we hit 2:58 with our 2 little hiccups. Still a nice looking SUV. I like it. I like it better than the Tauros, but I still like my Rebel GTS more. That being said, it's super easy to unlock this week. Just win one LS Car Meet Series race, and you got this thing. I mean, it's only $608,000 from Legendary Motorsport, which is on the cheaper side, especially when the Benefactor Slogan GT costs $1.3 million. But still, very, very nice SUV. Whether you win it for free and $0 or you buy it for its full retail value, still absolutely worth it, I think. So we're gonna wrap the video up right here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support that you guys give my free vehicles guide series here on this channel. I used to talk about all the removed vehicles, you know, just kind of like a post-commentary format, but I feel like I never got a chance to talk about the Podium vehicle and the prize ride unless we had just a very few amount of actual vehicle discounts or, you know, a lack of removed vehicles for the week. So it's good to be able to talk about these, especially in a live gameplay format, and test them out. So thank you so much for the support. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Adios, amigos.